Well, hi, good morning. Thanks so much for joining me in my shop here on November 19th, 2022, for a look at this very expensive CD and radio combination player. So it's an AM/FM radio and a CD player. This is a Linn Classik. This is a very expensive machine. It may not look like it because the focus is on the quality of the machine, so I understand. So I've never had something like this or a Linn in my shop, I don't think. A terribly busy back on this thing. It has a laser output. Has some other IR out. 1 and 2, I don't even know what that is. It's using these unusual connectors here. I think these are speaker connectors, I think. It's not really an issue for what I need to do to this machine. FM aerial here, AM antenna there. Speaker connections here. Warning, this apparatus must be earthed. Earthed sounds a little British to me. Okay, headphone plug, speaker off, volume up and down. There must be some tuning in here, I'm not exactly sure. The problem with this guy is a simple problem. His CD door doesn't come open. Or if it does come open, it barely comes open, it only open part way. Inconsistent operation of the tray. And that usually points to a worn out, loose, or broken belt. If it's coming out a little bit, then the belt has to be there, perhaps a little bit loose. So that's what we're going to focus on. The electronic side of this, hopefully I don't have to do anything to it. This is a little out of my bailiwick. So I've already taken 4 screws out of the bottom to get the top off. Just pull this off, slide it back. Take it right off. Working on this kind of thing is a little nerve-wracking for me, especially this is, the radio, everything is largely working. It's just a mechanical problem with the door. And the last thing I'd want to do is cause more trouble in this. And that's why I'm a little anxious about it. I don't believe any work has been done on it. And I think this is from around 2002, somewhere in that area. I see what looks like a battery right here. Okay, look, there's a connector right here, inside. And another connector, open connector inside. These are probably for testing purposes, I'm not sure what they're there for. The word on these machines is that they are extremely well built. This is why this is so valuable. Now I think the CD player is from Sanyo, I think. I'm not sure about that. And look at the transformer here. It's a toroidal transformer. Looks like it's wound specifically for this unit. I think using a toroidal transformer reduces the chance of magnetic fields being produced and going through the machine. I think. I'm not sure about that. Got a board here. It's got somebody's initials on it there. Be able to see this. Linn Products Limited. Description: integrated CD amp. Design. Look at this. They really put people's design. IW, EJB, RS, and ES. Those are probably the initials of the guys who did this. So I'm really impressed that they're sticking their names right on here. Look at this. Past Genrad, General Radio maybe. November 4th, Jim. Not me. Somebody with my name, though. So really interesting that they're signing this stuff. You don't see that in an ordinary factory. They keep all that stuff secret. They use numbers and codes, so you never know who the person really is. Look at this. John Paul Medlock put his sticker right on here. So Conan, no, Con 6, I don't know what that's not to me. Conan. Interesting. Just makes me even more nervous. Danger, high voltage. Really? How high? How high could it be? The actual amplifier. Oh, there's a fuse hidden back under here. I can just see it. Yikes. That's hidden away in there. What else can we see in here? So this looks like the output transformers here. They have this heat sink bolted to them. Did I say transformers? Output transistors. Yeah, don't listen too carefully to what I say. Stupid stuff comes out of my mouth now and then. Well, okay. So what about this? Somewhere in here is going to be a motor-driven belt that pulls this thing in and out. Could be motor turning on gears. Could be gears involved. I see a gear here. No, that's moving the laser pickup. So it looks like this whole door, it's not a flop down door. It looks like the whole thing comes out. It's supposed to come out. Yeah, it's not a flop down door. And the belt is not visible here. I don't see it anywhere. It's probably underneath somehow. Yikes. I'd really like to hear that. Now, I think the owner of this told me he saw that the belt was loose. And I don't even see the belt. Where's the belt? Well, if this is the... No, that's not. It's not that. Well, I don't know. What are you going to do here? We're going to plug it in and operate it. Maybe when the door slides forward, we can see the belt. I'm hoping this is an easy belt change job. That's what I'm hoping. And I think he's probably hoping that too. I don't think you should have too much concern about operating this. We don't have speakers hooked up, so we're not going to hear anything. I think that's just fine. Volume control, well, it's got that battery inside here, so it's probably remembering its previous settings. Operating this at high volume with no speaker attached, probably not a serious concern. Could always pop headphones in here if we wanted. Where's the headphone on-off switch? How do you... I guess probably plug the headphones in, it switches off the speakers and activates the headphone. I don't think there's too much concern with operating this the way it is. Okay, here we go. Just gonna... Yep, it's already up. What did you just do? I don't know. Here we go. Little green light came on. It's trying to open the door right now. Or it seemed to be. I don't know, it was a little buzz, like a motor or something trying something. AM 11.16. Okay, I'm not going to worry about the radio right now. We want to open that door. Got to be this button here. This looks like an on-off button. But this is the on-off button. Why is this on-off button here? Something's trying. Something is making a lot of sound in here. Ooh. Oh, there's the belt. Okay, we can see the belt. Oh, look at that. Oh yeah, that's terribly loose. It's very hard to see in the camera because everything is black, but you can see the belt is ready to fall off, in fact. Right there. Okay, let's turn the power off. And Was that really the problem? As I terrible thing to make a quick assumption on the cause of these things. So the belt is definitely loose. I can see as I move this back and forth, both wheels are spinning. The belt's got, you know, it's grabbing a bit in there, but it looks like it's ready to fall right off, in fact. It looks bad. Let me turn this back on. Door half open. How smart are you, machine? Okay, it's back on. Oh, smart enough to do that. Okay, let's push the door open button again. Let's try it. Does not want to move. Ooh, I don't know about that. Gave up. How did I get it open last time? I'm pushing on the wrong thing. I'm pushing on this. Okay, so we'll wheel it open. And we'll push the button here again. Okay, so it didn't come out all the way. Now what I'm looking for is to see, is the motor spinning? Yes, yes. Okay, that's enough of that. Can you be happy? Happy like that. Okay, no question. The belt is the problem. No question, no question to me at this point. Now can I get this out here? Open it up again. Right to there. Okay, turn the machine off. We're going to work through here. Chances are I don't have a belt that's going to match. Now, I actually watched somebody else's YouTube video. I tend to not do that, but I'm so unfamiliar with machines like this that I thought I should. Found one video where a fellow changed this belt. His belt was broken. He actually showed it. It actually broke. It was kind of surprising. He replaced the belt with a rubber band. Well, I don't know about that. Having exactly the right belt is usually a pretty important thing, because there's belt dimensions, belt tension, belt width. I guess that's part of belt dimensions. This is a fairly heavy belt. Oh. It feels like if I pull on this a little harder, it's going to snap. It doesn't feel like it has any strength. So probably what's happened is a component in the manufacture of the belt, the makeup of the belt. One of the components in the rubber mix has evaporated away, and the result is the belt's physical qualities have changed. And one thing is, it's become very loose. That's probably what's happened to this guy. Well, I'm going to hunt through my meager supply of belts, see what I can find. We can probably get the dimension off this and shrink it a bit to get the proper belt size. If you put on too small a belt, it's just going to be a ridiculous tension. And the rubber band treatment, well, maybe. Oh, this moves nice. There's no restriction in the movement of the tray. So it wouldn't take much. It wouldn't. Oh, I've locked it. No, I didn't. It wouldn't take much to get that to drive properly. Okay. To the belts, Jim. Okay, before I start rummaging through my sad collection of belts, I want this belt to be identified. This is the original one. I don't want to mix it up, because at any moment my cat will show up and demand attention, and I will leave, and when I come back I won't know what I was doing. So that's the original belt. Put it way over here. Now, my belt collection, my meager belt collection, is mostly from record players. Some of these are broken belts and stuff like that. So I mean, obviously you can't. This is terrible. Look at that. That's terrible. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so these are real record player belts. There's one that looks close. This one. What do I got in here? This is another record player, a belt drive record player. Belt. Yeah. That's what I've got. At least that's what I found so far. Any of these close? Or any of these? No. No, they're not. No, they're all way too big. Way too big. Okay, so far, no cigar. Oh boy. Do I, like most people doing this stuff, I have a main belt. Hey, there's another one. Main belt place where I've collected my belts, and then there's a few here and there in my shop. And where? I don't know. Could I find more belts? Would I possibly find exactly the right kind of belt for this? You know, just the right size. No, I think the elastic band idea sounded pretty good to me. Oh, okay, I gotta look through my collection of elastic bands. Now, bearing in mind it might be possible to, well, it probably is possible. I think it certainly is possible to order a new band and get the correct dimension just by estimating it, I think. But here's my kitchen collection of rubber bands. See, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Do I need to look any further? How close is this? These blue ones here. Gotta be just a wee bit. Wow, is that ever close? We're gonna try this. This one feels pretty good. Okay, let's give this a go. Maybe this is the solution. I mean, so, you know, maybe this isn't going to last as long as a rubber band, but this didn't last forever. A proper belt, rather. Got my special tool here. See the tip of it? So I can hook and push. I can use it as a pusher, too. I think the way to do this one is get around the small white one. Put this back a little bit and get a little more exposure. Crowded in the shop. Wow, it's just about as loose as the original. Can you see how it's got some action to it? I think it's as loose as the original one. I don't think that's much better. Power on. Ooh, what's that sound? Okay, open the door. Yeah. The door doesn't want to open at all. Now it does. What's going on there? It seemed like it was locked. Okay, let's watch it. Watch that belt. Here we go. Probably close the door is what it's going to try now. Well, that was good. Well, I wonder how a belt would break. That might be just the way. This is searching for the CD. Well, let's put a CD in. That would be kind of a good idea. Oh, I've got to run and get one. #25 #1 hits from 25 years. Probably 25 years ago. Motown. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Wherever you laid his hat. was his home. So unfortunately, well, we're not going to listen to this. We're just going to see if it operates. Okay, will you open? Oh yeah. What was all that funny sound before? Will you close? Yeah. There's that sound. What is all that about? Why isn't this disc spinning? See, the laser was hunting there a little bit. What's the use of hunting if it's not spinning the disc? Yeah, can belt play a role with the disc spinning? I don't think so. There's another belt in there that's also gone slack. I don't think the spinning disc would be belt driven. It's going to be more directly either with gears or the motor itself driving it directly because, well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there is another belt in there somewhere. Why wouldn't it spin that disc? Should be a mechanism that comes up. Oh, you know what? I'll bet you the door mechanism also is responsible for lifting the, it's got to come up and kind of grab the CD. There's a top thing here that's designed to center automatically. And the CD should be lifted up against this. That didn't happen at all. Uh-oh. More wrong here than expected. Let's try the door again. Okay, so the door's open all the way. This gives me a better view, much better view of what's going on inside. Gears here. And that's the laser right there. I don't want to touch. Let's get the close-up camera going here. See what we can see with that. Okay, this is switched on. I'm going to switch it off. Some relay was held in there. Okay, so I got autofocus running on this camera, which might be a bit of a headache. So there's the laser eye, which I saw lifting up and down. And this part back in here, this looks like the part that would grab the CDs. This whole tray is supposed to come up with the laser and all like that. Let me set this right here. Okay, so this part here is supposed to go up and down. Doesn't. Yeah, I can see there's pivot points right here. There's a pivot point right here, so it's probably supposed to go up and down and driven by the same rubber band, which is probably slipping because the job is harder than moving the door in and out. Let's move the door in and out right here. Okay. There we go. Oh, did it on its own. Yeah. That was probably the attempt to lift. Okay, open up. It didn't open. Because it didn't lift up properly, it's in some state it's not supposed to be in. Because I can't move this now. The moment that little buzz went away, it became possible for me to move this door. Up until then, it didn't want to go anywhere. So how would this thing be lifted up and down if that's what it's supposed to do? You can see how the laser, I keep wanting to call it a magic eye. The laser can travel back and forth. It's got a guide shaft here. It's It's going to run along. Looks like it slides here. Bad lubrication. Well, no, it's still lubricated. There's just not much of it. Got these gears here. Looks like this gear set appears to be what drives this back and forth. And you can see a bar with teeth on it here that would be driven. I didn't see it move back and forth. This is all loose in that. Yeah, I'm moving it now. Pretty sticky. Feels pretty sticky, but maybe it's supposed to. But this would not be easy. Looks like it's being driven by this large wheel. So I can't see it, but I bet you there's a gear, another gear piece underneath it that's engaging with the tooth bar. Oh, but maybe my camera had things right. This is probably the motor right here. The motor drives this gear, driving this gear. It's just really geared. Unless they give it a lot of power to move this back and forth. Is that where the problem is? You can't move this. Now the thing is, if I bring in the tray, this all gets covered up. Well, let me move it by hand, because hopefully this thing can find its way back home. Like this. Very, very hard to move. So I'm turning the gear, well, I'm spinning this motor at a high speed back here. Maybe that's what makes it hard. Doesn't seem sticky though. And you don't want this thing flopping around. This is all precision stuff. It's moving this thing very precisely. Probably moving it by hand is not the best thing. It doesn't explain. It doesn't. Where's the door lock the CD at? That gotta come up. It has to come up. Now, if I wanted to make this come up, what would I do? I don't know. How would you tip that? Well, you wouldn't want to use the motor that's driving the laser. You want that motor to be doing just that. It's a precision motor. What you'd rather have is a cheaper motor. Oh my gosh, you know what I see? I can see a motor in here. Motor shaft. Let's go back to the other camera again here. I thought this would be done by now. Maybe this machine just needs some exercising. There we are. Oh, no, right there, bingo. So it's right, you can see the motor, the shaft coming out. Well, that doesn't look like that can go up and down. Well, it does. The whole metal bracket, motor and all, is going up and down. It's going to press this piece up against the CD. It's all turning free. There, I can lift it like this. Who's doing this lifting thing? It's this whole plastic tray. The whole plastic tray here has got to come, not just the metal part. Get my finger in there. That's why I like working on the old stuff, because it's pretty darn rugged, and it's just not the same precision stuff. Turn the power off, Jim. You're going to get yourself quite a lift here if you're not careful. Yeah, I talk to myself. Apparently it's very healthy to talk to yourself. Tell yourself off. Well, then if it's tied into the door, you know what I would do? I would have the door, come to think of it, this is what I would do. I would make it so when you drive the door back, the door crashes into a lever which lifts everything up. That would occur just as the door closes. Okay, let's watch for that. Just as the door closes. Power back on. Why? I didn't see anything. It's got these funny levers here. The door's all the way back. It's closed on the front. It's got nowhere else to go, but it didn't, there's nothing lifted up. Open it up again. Open. What's with all that? It just sounds like you gotta guess. How come it's still locked here? What if we push play? This would be play here. Oh, maybe play lifts it up. That would make some sense. It doesn't lift up until you push play. Let's see. Push play. Nothing happening. Watch your fingers, Jimmy. I'm gonna get a shock off this guy. Got a word track here, so it's obviously aimed at the CD. This on-off button. Standby. Okay, so rather than turn the main power off, I turned some standby thing off here. Turn it back on. On. For the relay snap. This thing's trying something. Probably trying to lift. Looks like it's saying track 1. No hope for that. I can see the laser trying in there. But of course the disc is too far away. And it's not spinning. Did the motor go? Did the spin motor spin? Did the spin motor spin? Wow, are we going to see that under there? Or is that the sound? The spin motor locked up in some way. Okay, open up. Open her up. Sometimes these things have a timeout. They won't stay out all the time. After a minute or something, they will close on their own. So I got to keep that in mind. I got my fingers in there. Not that I would get hurt, but that blocking the movement could cause problems. You would hope not. You would hope it's designed so it can take that kind of nonsense. Well, if there was a lever or something, I would see it, wouldn't I? So I have already looked for information on this machine. I couldn't find anything. I should probably look again. Power's still on, don't forget. Lever. Lever alone. So I did see the eye. I thought I saw it going up and down a little bit. Is it just the eye? Is it just the laser that comes up? No, it's got to come up and trap the CD. This thing has to come up. It won't come up. So if they're using the spin motor to clamp the CD there, that sounds a little strange too. How would they even do that? So the spin motor would have to have a belt or a gear or something off of it, or, and I'm looking at it here. Certainly see the motor shaft coming up. Comes up to the grabber. This whole tray has to, this whole piece does have, it has to do this. So, you know, what I'm hesitating about is taking more apart. The more you take apart, the bigger the risk. This guy's almost working. certainly the AM/FM radio works, according to the owner. And the last thing I want to do is say, well, here you are, couldn't fix the CD and the radio doesn't work anymore. I'm really on edge doing this kind of stuff. So I'm really hesitant to try to take any more out of here. Someone with more experience might just jump right in and go, I know exactly what that is. I know exactly what that is. So it seems to be no attempt to lift up and grab the CD. That would suggest some, a belt is missing entirely. We would find it, be laying around in here. We'd probably have seen it by now. Is it a gearing mechanism? I think I would go back to the idea that the door is what's supposed to do it. And how? If it's the door, it's got these funny plastic pieces here. No idea what that is. And there's no way this goes down. It's a solid piece of plastic. And we have this funny little thing here. Is there another belt or band missing? Well, okay, so if the door comes back and then it's supposed to lift it up, how would it do that? Would hit a lever. Is the lever broken off? Is the lever broken off? Loose in the machine. I didn't hear anything loose in this machine. Some other funny shapes here, but that's all solid plastic. So maybe the door, this part in here has dropped too low. It's fallen off of something. Is that possible? That it's supposed to be up and riding on somewhere and it's not anymore? I just doubt that. Hope you're enjoying me doing all this guessing here. This is all I'm doing. The machine is on, Jim. Watch out, this door might want to come back any moment. We don't know. How can you gain more access? How can I see more and then know more? What was the squeaking? It seemed like the door closed and then the squeak started, as if the belt is slipping because it's pushing still on something that's not going anywhere. Where's the belt? Where'd the belt go? So the belt is right up in here. Sorry, Motown hits, you're going to have to wait. Let's turn this off. Yeah, the belt is there. It's actually going to work okay for the door. I don't think there's really a problem there. But when the door closes, and we lose sight of the belt, I don't have any sensation of any mechanics taking place, except now it's ooh, come on. Interesting. Well, another interesting question would be, there's a motor driving the blue belt. It's driving this wheel. This wheel is somehow driving the door. How? How's it doing that? How is that happening? Okay, I see a little something I didn't see before. Let's change the angle of observation here. So there's a gear here. So the motor is driving this wheel, and then down underneath we can't see it. There's a geared wheel that's engaging with this, and this toothed wheel is probably engaging with a toothed bar, driving it along here. Let's look up under this. What do we see up here? Let's see what we can see. All I need is just a little hint here. See anything we recognize? Just a second. There we go. Better camera angle. That's just so I don't have to stop. I'm going to fix the focus. I'm going to turn off the autofocus on this camera. Try to focus right about there. Just bear with me a moment. I just have to. Yeah, the focus tends to hunt also, which is quite annoying. So we're going to turn off autofocus. There we go. Now, let's go back under in the dark here. Dirt on my lens. Too dark. You recognize anything there? This is terrible. Got the focus set way too far. Okay, let's close up the focus here. Oh yeah, it's way, way, way back. How did it get way back there? Here we go. Now, ignoring all those splashes on my camera screen. So the owner said he did say something. He said something else just when he was delivering this. He talked about some other problem beyond the door. And maybe I'm looking at it right now. Just not looking at it, but working on it. And even if you make the door go, it still doesn't. Linn Classik. We'll pull this open further, Jim. Oh, now we got a little better view of things. You can see the tooth wheel over there. Oh my gosh, what a guessing game. This is door open all the way now. Anything, something. I don't even know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for some, yeah, there's the teeth that are driven. A broken piece would be helpful if I found something broken. Well, that's interesting. What's that? That's going up through a little hole. Not exactly sure what that is. So when I say a lever might be operated when the door closes, that could be it right there. I mean, how would that work? That's this guy right here. This guy. That's this guy right here. The shape of the slot is interesting. Something's supposed to move around up here. It's as solid as can be. Oh, no. What moved? There's an arrow there. or a diamond. Probably in the manual it says don't touch anything with a diamond near it. And what's that? A shaft. That's a shaft. Or is that just a piece of the what would that be there for? Doesn't spin. I'm moving the door in and out. Come on, all the way. That's doing nothing. We go back. We go back. Okay, it goes under this piece. Goes back. This is where it would try to lift. Well, first of all, if the tray is lifting if the tray movement is lifting the laser assembly up, lifting well, it is actually the laser assembly and the clamping mechanism, clamping the CD. It would only do it when the tray is all the way in and locked, because any sooner, and that would be bad, the CD wouldn't be in place yet. So this would come all the way back. When it reaches the back, there's no click. That was me making that sound. Well, that really looks like something that's supposed to catch something. And the arrow, or the triangle, is there supposed to be a spring here? From here to here? Is this top part broken off? I don't think so. Oh. Sure doesn't look broken off. This is just sticking up a littlest wee bit. What is that post for? So I'll go over this side. We got another post. I got this piece. What are you there for? Move the tray out here. Come on, tray. Sometimes it seems to be locked, and other times it does not seem to be locked, and just moving this back and forth usually unlocks it. Not this time. Is it because of these little pieces I fooled around with? No, I don't think so. So why would it not come out? It would not come out because the CD is locked. The tray is coming. Oops, that was my flashlight. Because the machine is gripping the CD, and if somebody tried to yank out the door here for some dumb reason, that would destroy this, I'm sure. So they want to lock the door when the belief is the CD is locked in place. The door cannot come out. And before, I guess by shaking it here, I was undoing the lock a little bit. But the tray never came up. The thing never came up. There's actually nothing wrong with this, and I'm just not operating the machine right. Well, how can that be? It's a CD player. I mean, there's not much operation to it. Part of the hint is that squeak and squeal. Typically, things like this suffer from lubrication problems. But that generally happens only if the player is not played for a long time. Record player, CD player, any kind of player, tape deck. Spends a long time sitting in one spot. The lubrication can dry up and glue things in place. So what that would mean then is if the motor that's driving the tray has two jobs, It finishes one job, that's moving the tray into place, and then it starts the next job, which is lifting the piece up, I'm guessing. What can we see in here? Can we see anything in here? Can we see in there? Where'd my flashlight go? Here it is. Go, I'm going to drop the camera now. What would I possibly see in here that would eureka this whole thing? It looks like soldered on bores, what that looks like. Oh, that's a pretty potent looking spring there. What's going on with all that? Ooh. It's all this stuff. And what is going on exactly? So those are pretty big wires. There's something happening under the shrink sleeve. I'm guessing that's a plug that can be unplugged. What is going on with this? That spring looks a little funny, doesn't it? I think there's some kind of a latchy thing up above it. Power's off to this. That's a pretty weird looking piece. Maybe this is a solenoid. Could that be a solenoid in there? With a heavy cable to feed the power to the solenoid to push the deck up. Oh, I don't know about that. But they didn't put a spring in there for no reason. And it really doesn't look right. Well, maybe it is, but it just doesn't look right to me. Okay, let's flex this guy a little bit. That top piece, the bent piece of metal that comes over and touches the spring, that reminds me of how my little electric train when I was a kid, reverse direction. I used to put the power on the engine and it would go one way. You turn the power off, put the power on, it would go the other way. And I was fascinated by this fact. How does it know to go the other way? And there was a piece, something like this in the train. It really, really disturbed my parents because the way I discovered it, the only tool I was using at that time, because I was very young, was a hammer. I hammered my train engine. I got this part, I could see it, and I figured out, oh, that's how it works. And I proudly showed my parents, and they just about broke out in tears, I think, because they had spent a lot of money on this train set for little Jimmy. It lasted about 6 months. In the summer, I hammered it to pieces. I had to find out. The train set had other problems by that time anyway. But they were so broken-hearted. Don't think they ever bought me an expensive gift again. Yeah. Well, let's flex this thing. Oh, you can see it good just like that. Okay, we'll get in here with a poker. And we will poke at it. Getting the powers off. So this metal bracket is screwed down solid, so it's not going anywhere. This bracket's not going anywhere. This plunger could be. Oh, it did move. Okay, let me get a little better grip on it here. We'll really try and make it move. Oh! That was interesting. What did it just do? This would be in the up position. And you know what? That little bar, this is the bar I'm talking about, this piece right here. I think it's doing exactly what my train set did. Every time you operate it, this thing moves a bit. I don't know. I'm getting excited here for nothing. Let's try it again. So we pull it. Yep. I don't think did I get it all the way? I'm not moving this all the way. Something going on with that. Seems to move okay. Don't know what I'm doing. could be, maybe this is a lock arrangement. That's supposed to lock things down like I was talking about before. I mean, if you're familiar with these things, you're probably yelling at your computer right now. Hey, man, that's blah, 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 blah. But I'm listening. I don't hear a word. But I'm willing to bet that's what this is. So each time it's activated, the solenoid pushes this piece, the trigger goes, and the piece settles in a different position. And then, okay, so it's not pushing, it's pulling. And then the solenoid goes, snaps it back. Oh, this is not a good way to do this. I have my tools on a bad angle. Let's get a grip on it again. So solenoid action. Pull it, let it go, it's out. Pull it, let it go, it's in. Let's see if we can watch this actually happen. Now meanwhile, nothing is going, the tray's not going up and down, nothing's going on. So did I just ruin the machine? Here we go, power on. Okay, I can see the laser was trying. But there's no CD in here. Okay, let's try the door. Here we go, the door button. Which one's the door button? Whoop, banging my head on the microphone there. Door button. Well, I've lost my mind. Oh. Oh. Okay, there's a little more of the buttons here. So, okay, so I had recognized these buttons. I hadn't really recognized these ones are also buttons. The one I pushed was the speaker off. Why would that make that squeal? Coincidence. SRC minus, SRC plus. Adjust. Volume's easy to understand. Adjust what? Adjust the SRC. Did not get a manual with this to look at. The volume is 32 and you push volume down. Yeah, that's the volume number. So it's probably trying to play a radio right now. SRC. Plus and minus. Okay, let's go back to what we were doing. It is a process of discovery, right? Every little thing could be the hint you need to understand. Now I'm going to try to work the door. Okay, the door is open. CD is in. Closing the door. Now, I think in the background, I think I saw something try to go up. Yeah, do you see that? So that sound, that squeak, is something slipping. Open the door. Close the door. Oh! She's trying. I don't think it's getting a grip on the CD at all. I'm shaking it here. It's loose as can be. Unable to grip the CD. What this thing is? Yeah. I don't know. It's I don't know. When does this guy jump around? I mean, this is really made to push on something. Like there's a whole so could that be like jamming a wedge under the door and the door comes up? I saw the thing try to lift. Something is working on it already. It's not this piece. This piece didn't go anywhere. So what the heck is this? Oh, well, you know what this is? Oh, for crying out loud. It's the on-off switch. Yeah, that's the on-off switch. Very good. Okay, settle that mystery. That's why the big wires come to it. Duh. Okay, no problem. As long as we get somewhere. We're not in the right ballpark here for finding out what it is that's... Now, why wouldn't it lift up? Slipping belt would make that sound. I can't imagine gears making that squeaky sound. Gotta be another belt in there. I mean, so we got one belt shot. Why not have another belt shot? And the belt is inaccessible unless you take the whole player out, because there's no taking the bottom off. Power's off? No, power's on. Power's off now. Really off. There's no little trap door under here. What there is this big single screw here, which is dead center of the... oh, what's that? And that. That's probably letting the front panel come off. Yeah, somebody's hair's on here. It's an interesting question. How would that happen? An awfully big screw back here. I think that's probably screwing the big transformer in place. So my guess is this is holding the player in. The other end of it, well, there's a big screw in there too. Two big screws and out it comes. So there's these cables here. They look like they're part of this. So can you get this? Will probably have to come off this board, unfortunately. Ooh. You got to take it out with the board, turn it upside down. Probably screws going through the board that are holding this to the board. There's a cable here that would have to come off. Cable here. So some of these could be left on. There's enough wire. Maybe not. Oh my gosh, this is a bigger project than I had hoped for. I mean, I solved the door. But there's more going wrong here. Must be a loose belt. Must be a loose belt, buried. Can't see it. And you need to expose it by doing exactly what I've just said. Out comes the whole unit with the board. You can probably take this out, like do the two screws. Take this and just lift it up like that and leave these other plugs in. I don't want to unplug something if I don't have to, because I'm scared of accidental result. Now, how would you get this out when this door is in the hole here? You have to kind of slide it back a little bit, which is probably quite possible once those two screws are out. Well, I think that's where I have to go with this. And I think I'm going to stop now because it's lunchtime here. It's actually after lunch, and we've gone a little long this morning. And we'll continue with this on the next video. So thanks a lot for watching this swelling project here. See ya.